What if we measured our progress by how strong we felt instead of how much we weighed? What if we celebrated pounds lifted instead of pounds lost?
Louise Hazel is an Olympian and a gold medal winning heptathlete.
She's a certified personal trainer and the CEO of Slay.
She trains Hollywood's rich and famous and has been featured in Harper's Bazaar,
GQ,
and Vogue.
Women's Fitness.
Fulfill your true potential.
Slay.
Have you been asking the wrong question the entire time? Instead of how much weight can I lose, we started asking, how much weight can I lift? You've been conditioned to focus on what you can take away. Calories, pounds, inches, basically any number that makes you feel smaller. But what if you flipped that narrative entirely? If this sounds like you, and you feel like you're spinning your wheels, then you're not broken. You don't lack motivation and you don't need Ozempic. The truth is far simpler than that, so keep listening. At Slay, we have this motto that we live by, which is when you shift your focus away from what your body looks like to what your body can do, then results are inevitable. And I've seen this time after time with my own clients and with the results of the women that we serve online. And I couldn't help but wonder, what if we measured our progress by how strong we felt instead of how much we weighed? What if we celebrated pounds lifted instead of pounds lost? The other day at Slay, I watched something that made me question everything about how we as women approach fitness. I was on an exploratory call with a new client. Now, those calls are typically 15 to 30 minutes long, and you conduct them as a personal trainer to get a grasp of a client's goals, their previous history, and anything else you need to know before setting up an in-person session. She immediately wanted to know about our weight loss programs. Meanwhile, across the gym floor, I watched a woman squat twice her body weight and celebrate with a smile that could power the whole grid system. The contrast hit me like a slap in the face. Have you been asking the wrong question the entire time? What if instead of how much weight can I lose, we started asking, how much weight can I lift? Here's a scary thought that's more shocking than finding out your favourite workout leggings have been discontinued. What if we women trained like men? Hear me out before you roll your eyes and think I'm suggesting we grunt loudly in the gym and leave our weights all over the floor. Just stick with me. Most men walk into gyms with one singular primary focus, getting stronger. They track their bench press, they celebrate their PRs, and they measure their progress by how much weight they can move. They're focused on addition, not subtraction. Meanwhile, you've been conditioned to focus on what you can take away. Calories, pounds, inches, basically any number that makes you feel smaller. But what if you flipped that narrative entirely? What if you made strength the main character in your fitness story? Picture this. Instead of stepping on a scale every single morning and letting a number dictate your mood, you walk into the gym thinking, today I'm going to squat 10 pounds more than I did last week. Instead of skipping breakfast and eating only salad for lunch, what if you fueled your body to crush your next training session? And instead of measuring success by how much you can eliminate, what if you measured it by how much you can dominate? The transformation wouldn't just be physical, it would be a psychological one too. And trust me, the women here at Slay who are locked into those small daily wins, like how many push-ups and pull-ups you can do, are crushing it right now. Now, deep down, I know you're tired of not having anything to celebrate. I know you're tired of restricting calories. I know you're tired of yo-yo dieting, excessive cardio, and you're tired of seeing no results. If this sounds like you, and you feel like you're spinning your wheels, then you're not broken. You don't lack motivation, and you don't need Ozempic. The truth is far simpler than that, so keep listening. I'm Louise Hazel, Olympian, fitness expert and CEO of Slay. Welcome back to another episode of Slay, the Centre of Excellence for Women's Health, Fitness and Life. And today we're going to dive into how you can start feeling stronger again and living the life that you deserve. I can't tell you how many times I've had the conversation recently about whether or not our clients should take Ozempic. Yes, you already know it. Skinny culture is back with a bang, and this time it's coming with a cost, your strength. I'd say that probably 5% of our clients at Slay are now using GLP-1s compared to 0 clients just 12 months ago. And as a woman that's on the front line seeing the data in real time, 1 in 4 of our clients have achieved a successful change in body composition. That's to say that she managed to retain lean muscle mass and reduce her body fat mass. The remaining 75% of clients that are on GLP-1s struggle to retain muscle mass, eat enough protein on a daily basis, and their attendance has dropped to an average of around about 1 session per week. We've seen an uptick in gastrointestinal issues, unexplained sickness, fatigue, and flu. And even then, the weekly fat loss results are often the same and sometimes worse than the clients who are simply adhering to a calorie deficit and weight training. Now, the one thing that nobody is really talking about is how weak they feel. For the first time, a friend of mine explained that after taking GLP-1s for 3 months, she felt incredibly weak, frail, and just not good in her own skin. Now, she was happy to lose the weight, but she knew deep down that she'd lost her vitality with it. Since our conversation, she's back in the gym and bursting with energy and eager to gain back her strength, and I couldn't be happier for her. But I couldn't help but wonder, what if this time around she approached her fitness journey differently? What if she simply trained like a dude? You see, here are 5 things that happen when women start training like men. Number 1, we stop apologising for taking up space. See, men don't apologise for using the squat rack. They don't say sorry if they need to grab a bigger weight. They certainly don't worry about looking bulky from lifting heavy. What if we adopted that same unapologetic approach to strength? When you're focused on lifting heavier, you start to appreciate what your body can do rather than obsessing over what it looks like. You stop seeing your thighs as too big and start seeing them as powerhouses that just squatted your body weight. You stop seeing your shoulders as too broad and start seeing them as weapons that just press some serious overhead press. What if we started to eat like athletes, not dieters? Here's something that would make your personal trainer weep with joy. When your goal is strength, you have to fuel accordingly. You can't deadlift your body weight while surviving on celery sticks and shame. Suddenly, food becomes fuel instead of the enemy. Now, unlike some women, men typically don't have a complicated relationship with certain food sources like carbs because they understand that carbs help them lift heavier. They don't fear protein because they know it will actually help them to build muscle that they're working so hard to develop. So what if we approach nutrition the same way, as fuel for our performance rather than punishment for existing? We could develop an unshakable confidence. There's something absolutely intoxicating about realizing that you can physically move heavy objects with your own body. Now, this translates into every area of your life. When you know you can squat like over 200 pounds, suddenly that difficult conversation at work doesn't seem so intimidating. When you've just crushed a PR in the squat, you carry yourself differently. I've watched women transform not just their bodies, but their entire approach to life. Once they start focusing on the strength, they negotiate better at work. They set firmer boundaries. They take up space unapologetically. Because when you know what you're capable of physically, you start to understand what you're capable of in every other area of your life. Now, instead of tracking calories burned, what if we started tracking pounds lifted? Instead of measuring inches lost, what if we started to measure our PRs? Instead of celebrating smaller numbers, what if we started celebrating the bigger ones? Now, imagine a world where you could walk into the gym with the goal of adding 5 pounds to your bench press, instead of losing 5 pounds on the scale. Imagine the satisfaction of seeing your squat numbers climb month over month. Imagine the rush of deadlifting weight you never thought was possible. But here's what the fitness industry doesn't want you to know. Strong women are bad for business. Think about it. If you're focused on getting stronger, you're not buying the latest weight loss tea. If you're measuring success by performance, you're not purchasing the newest slim down supplement. If you're eating to fuel your workouts, you're not falling for restrictive diet plans or weight loss medications. The $30 billion fitness industry thrives on keeping women focused on getting smaller because there's always more to lose, always another inch to trim, always another pound to shed. But strength has an endpoint. Once you deadlifted twice your body weight, you've achieved something tangible and lasting. Here's something else to think about. Last month, we discussed the weight of the mental load. Now, as women, we carry so much mental load, managing everyone's schedules, remembering every detail, keeping all of the plates spinning. But in the gym, when you're focused on strength and strength training, that mental chatter quiets down. You can't think about your to-do list when you're preparing to squat heavy. You can't worry about what's for dinner when you're setting up for a bench press PR. Strength training becomes this incredible mental break where the only thing that matters is you, the weight and whether you can move it. It's meditation, but with barbells. And here's what actually happens to your body. When you focus on pounds lifted instead of pounds lost, your body composition changes in ways that would make your scale-obsessed former self weep with joy. You build lean muscle mass, which increases your metabolism. You develop better posture, which makes you look taller, more confident. You gain functional strength, which helps with everything from carrying the groceries to playing with your kids or grandkids. But more importantly, you develop a relationship with your body based on respect and admiration rather than criticism and restriction. Now, as for your training, what approach should you take? You see, men typically focus on compound movements, squats, deadlifts, barbell, bench press, rows. These exercises work multiple muscle groups and allow you to lift the heaviest weight possible. They're not messing around with tiny pink dumbbells or doing endless bicep curls. They're moving serious weight with serious purpose. What if we adopted the same approach? What if our workouts were built around getting stronger at the fundamental human movements rather than trying to tone specific body parts? But what about getting bulky, I hear you say? Well, here's the truth that's more liberating than finding workout leggings with good pockets. Building significant muscle mass requires specific training, nutrition, and often genetic predisposition as well. So the women that you see that are getting bulky are usually training specifically for maximal muscle growth. You see, most women who lift heavy develop stronger, more sculpted shoulders, defined arms, powerful legs, and a confidence that's hard to come by. They look like they could handle whatever life throws at them because they can, because they've worked for it. So when you start training for strength, you enter a different community. Instead of bonding over what you can't eat, you're celebrating your personal bests. Instead of comparing body parts, you're comparing your lift numbers. Instead of complaining about your problem areas, you're planning your next training cycle or an upcoming event. It's a difference between a community built on lack and one built on abundance. I couldn't help but wonder, what if we measured our worth by what we can build instead of what we could lose? So here's your challenge. For the next month, I want you to completely ignore your body weight. Don't step on the scale. Don't measure inches. Don't even track calories burned. Instead, track these numbers. Number 1, how much can you squat? Number 2, how much can you deadlift? Number 3, how much can you bench press or how many push-ups can you do from the floor? And number 4, how many pull-ups can you do? These are great measures of your strength. Focus on improving those numbers. Eat to fuel your workouts, rest to recover for your next session, and celebrate the pounds that you add to the bar. The real transformation, when you train like a man, focused on strength, performance, and getting better rather than smaller, is that you don't just change your body, you change your entire relationship with fitness and food and yourself. You stop being a woman who works out to punish her body for existing, and you become a woman who trains to celebrate what her body can accomplish. And soon, you'll realize that you've been approaching fitness all wrong. The real power wasn't in how much you could lose, it was in how much you could lift. The question isn't whether you're strong enough to lift heavy weights. The question is, are you brave enough to find out just how strong you really are? Next week on Slay, we're going to be talking about all things love and dating. Until then, remember, your strength is a non-negotiable. That's all for today's episode of Slay. Stay tuned for more empowering discussions on female health, fitness, and life. You can follow me at Louise Hazel on social media, and you can check out Slay at Slay Athletic Club, or subscribe to the Slay podcast on YouTube now. If you haven't done so already, feel free to leave us a comment. You can also get fit at home using the Slay app. You can download that now for free from the App Store to join our online community. Now, if you're in Los Angeles, come and visit us. We're going to be at the Hollywood Bowl for Run Club every Saturday at 9:30 for our new women's running community. We'll see you there. Mwah.